Oh.
Well, the next thing we have for you is a unique incentive plan that all the union members are signing up for. Now, what it is called the freedom of choice. Now, with the freedom of choice, what it is, it's a funeral benefit plan. It's through the international presidents, underwritten by us, National Income Life Insurance Company. Now, what this does, it's a choice of any funeral home in the nation. Now, union members love it for the simple fact is they can use this anywhere you want. Now, union members, especially up north, what do they do when they retire? They go down south to Florida, right? They can use it down there. Where I'm from in New Orleans, they move up north to work. Because union members, they're going to go where the work is. Am I right? Okay, well, that's why they love it so much. They can use it anywhere you want. Now, all that happens whenever one of you would pass away. Mary, let's say you pass away. Now, John, okay, the first thing you're going to do, is, it's ringing in my ear. All you'd have to do, the first thing you'd have to do is give this phone number to the funeral director. The funeral director would then in turn give us a call. And the first question he's going to have is what you think it's going to be.
All they covered.
How much you covered for, right? Okay. Now let's say you covered with $50,000 of a freedom of choice plan. And we already discussed how much a funeral is right now. It's between $10,000 to $15,000. So if we told them, okay, you covered for $50,000, how much are they going to try and charge you, John? $50,000, right? So now we won't tell them. They can't strong arm us. We're the union, okay? So on the back of it, we're going to put you in charge of it. So John, on the back of this is an assignment sheet. Now this assignment sheet, you designate how much money you want to set aside for that funeral. Now let's say she passes away in the next couple of years, and it is around $10,000. You write $10,000 here, the policy number, you sign it, get it witnessed. We'll cut a check. It goes right to the funeral home for $10,000 in the first 24 to 48 hours. And then there's another check for the rest of it, the $40,000. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to have to take care of some other things, right? So let's go over this again. The freedom of choice. It's a choice of any funeral home in the nation, and it's also a freedom to do whatever you want with your money, and don't let the funeral director dictate that because they will.
Okay. That's it.
Broken prayer.
Because, we talk about, so I tell them $15,000. The actual national average is about 10, but where do we live?
New York.
We live in New York. I've lived all over the world, and I'm going to tell you right now, everything is more expensive in New York. I lived overseas in London, just so everything's more expensive. Now the crazy thing is that it's actually going up at 4.3% inflation, which is 3 times faster than the national average, which means, as crazy as it sounds, it's actually more expensive to die right now than to live. Tell me that's not insane. Okay, well right now I have some really good news, and I got some bad news. Okay, you said you were 36 years old, right? Let me show you here. You got, today,
More or less, make it up.
everybody's living
86.
longer.
Yeah, it'd be 86.
So, so it shows here that the life expectancy for somebody your age right now, today, is 86. And I know just in the last 20 years, the life expectancy has grown. I'm hoping, me personally, I'm hoping for triple digits. That's just me personally. But here's the scary thing, okay? You said you're going to live another 50 years. I want you to read this number right here. What does it say?
$35,000.
$56,000. 50 years from now.
Or 50 years,
If
yes.
he's
It's going to be like
36
$50,000.
It's $56,000 for a funeral. Let me ask you something. Do you have that money set aside for a funeral? You're damn right. Most people don't. I know I don't. And a lot of the union members we even talk to, they have life insurance. But when they do get life insurance, they buy that for what? To make sure that your loved ones are taken care of after you pass, so that your kids or grandkids can go to college, so that the mortgage is paid, so they can maintain that lifestyle that they're accustomed to, not to pay for a $56,000 funeral. Okay? Now, if you can't pay that, you don't have that money set aside, who do you think pays for that?
Kids.
It's going to be your loved ones, most importantly, your kids. Okay? I don't know about you, but I know myself, I don't want to pass that burden on to my children. That's the last thing I want to do. I want to set them up. So to alleviate that, we actually came up with freedom of choice. freedom of choice is it's awesome. Let me show you exactly how this works.
It's nice, John.
Okay? The,
Yeah, put it up so we can see. No.
the freedom of choice.
No, this is going on YouTube too.
Yeah,
Don't
whatever.
matter.
No, I'm
No,
serious.
but see, okay, so how this is going to work? God forbid something were to happen to you, okay, and you were to pass away. You said that Sally is going to be your beneficiary. All she has to do is it's exactly like it says, freedom of choice. Meaning she has the freedom to go to the most expensive funeral home, the cheapest one. She can go to one in Puerto Rico. She can go one to Florida. One anywhere she wants. She has the freedom to go whatever funeral parlor she wants. She just takes this. All she has to do is sit down with the funeral director and negotiate how much the funeral cost is going to be. Okay? Whatever that amount is, she'll put here. She'll have your policy because she's the beneficiary, so she'll have the policy number. All she has to do is have one person witness it, and she signs as the beneficiary and hands it to the funeral director, goes away. The funeral director is going to call this number. They're going to ask 2 questions. Okay? They're going to ask, first question when they call us, it's to us. They're going to ask, is Chris covered? And yes, you're going to be covered. The second question is, how much is he covered for? We talked about this before. The funeral homes are going to try to take advantage of your loved ones in a stressful situation. We will never allow them to take advantage of your loved ones during their weakness when they're mourning for them. So what we'll do is the only thing we're going to tell them is that whatever the negotiated amount is, there'll be a check sent to that funeral director within 48 hours. The second check will be sent to your loved one or your beneficiary. So this essentially is as good as walking in there with cash. Now, your union has negotiated 3 plans through this. If you give me 2 minutes, I'll show you what those plans are.
It makes a lot of sense before you walk in that you're going to read, you know who you're going to see, right? So it's basically you have to know you're going to see Luis Rosado. Okay, I know that person is born in 1959, 1960. So he's around how old? 50 something. So if somebody opened the door for you, a woman opened the door, you say, hey, look, I mean, you're going to have to know what you're going to see, who you're going to see. This thing takes 2 minutes before you get into the house. Just look at it and see what is that, what union, what, because people are going to ask you, who are you, what are you coming here, what do you need? So you don't be like, looking in your bag and try to find out the names. I always go, before I get into the house, even if you have a couple of appointments, you get confused, or you know the address, you should know the name and the person you go to see. The minute you ring the bell, they're going to tell you, hey, who are you? Oh, I'm here from National Income. I spoke with Lewis on 2 days ago regarding the benefits from his union. I'm from, you said already I'm from National Income. What union? Oh, the union. What union? You don't know now. So now you're going to look back, the local 8, 10. I should know that stuff before I go, right? And I should know who the beneficiary to. Oh, the son is the beneficiary. The wife is the beneficiary. So these little things makes a lot of difference on the door, right? When you ring the bell and the people, that minute can tell you, oh, come in, or they can tell you, what is this? I don't know. They start to get doubt about that. So you eliminate that, right? So when you get into the house, I'm sure everybody knows about that. You guys have to know that. That you walk in, the minute you walk in, you're going to try to pick some stuff. Pick some stuff up, right? Anything. Look at the house, it's nice. Oh, it's a nice color. The window is scary. Whatever, something there nice to talk to the people about, right? Because people always like to hear good things about themselves and their house. And the reason you do that, because you want to break up the eye and you want to make a good relation with them. So the minute you walk in, you want to really build that trust. Give them something good, say something good about them, about the house, about the neighborhood, whatever. Oh, you have a beautiful painting here. What is that? Where is that from? Oh, you like that? You figure things out that time, and the people are going to start to feel comfortable with you, right? They start to talk to you about different things. You go to the house sometimes, and they watch the Yankee game. Oh, you're a Yankee? What were you, a Yankee fan? No, I don't like the Yankees. I like the Mets. You say, yeah, I like the Mets too. Doesn't matter. Just make them feel good. That's your main concern. Breaking the wall between you and them in the first couple of minutes. Don't forget, it's like exactly you're sitting in the train in front of somebody or on the bus, or in a restaurant, or coffee shop, on the street, whatever, and somebody there next to you and in front of you, the first thing you're gonna talk. How that person gonna trust you? They never met you before. They don't know. They really don't know who you are, what are you coming for, what do you want to talk to them. But if I break it in nice, oh, you got a nice tie. This is really nice. Where do you buy your tie from? The person start to open up for you, right? I'm not talking about you. So anyway, they start to open up. So when you start to open up, you got a smile on their face, something they like. You know that you got already, I would say 25% of your presentation done. You don't even open the book yet. But this is going to make people feel good, and they feel good about you. They go to the table. Can we sit here? Nice, beautiful couch, right? I don't want to sit on the couch. I'm not a guest. I'm not coming here to watch TV and discuss life with you. I'm going to sit on the table. I said, sir, if you don't mind, we can sit in the kitchen table. I just have some paper. I want to show you some stuff, so maybe be more, chance for us to do that. Sometimes you go to the people, and they don't have a table or a kitchen table, it's mess there, you can't sit there, right? You can do, right? We did. Sometimes they don't have a chair for you to sit down. It's fine. I don't mind. We did a presentation on the counter, right? On the kitchen counter. I mean, the people just move in a new house and they have no furniture. It's not there yet, but at least they let us in. So you appreciate everything there, make them feel good. You're already done with that. Second thing is when you sit down, you don't go right away. Hey, this is the thing you filled out. I'm here to do that. They feel it like it's just like a business. You want to turn it to be a relationship before anything, right? You're building a relationship with the people, not a business relation before anything. Because if it's a business, they're going to know about what I'm gaining, what I'm losing, what they're going to give me, what I'm going to give you. You don't want to work about that, right? Okay. So as soon as you got that, you get everybody you need to be on your table there. Now you start to take control. You let them say whatever. But when I sit, I like from the first minute I sit here, and the person, I just go, don't go sit on the chair. Oh, sit here. Oh, okay, thank you. No, I'm going to look where I can sit and have those two people, if it's a wife and a husband or whatever, in front of me. I will never, 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 ever want them to face each other. It's a reason here. Because when they do that, the people have reaction when you talk. And they're going to start to look at each other. They look at each other and they cannot say anything because you're sitting there, right? So when this happens, what do you think? They want to talk together about that. So when you come to the end, I want to ask, why he say about that? Or what did he say? Or she say something in her mind. So both of them, they need to have some time to sit together and talk. So you give them that chance. No. But when you sit them next to each other, it's a very easy to see both reaction. And if you see something, don't feel bad to ask them. Hey, you want me to repeat this again? Do you have any question here? So right away she knows or he knows that you catch what the eye looks like, what they want to say. So that you may get them to say it, right? Or clear it again for them. So this is the main thing. So you get there, and after that you prepare. You start to say, listen, let's get to this because I would like to do this fast for you. It's going to take a couple of minutes and go over everything. If you have any question anytime, don't hesitate to stop me. I'll repeat it and I'll go over that again. It's a very simple presentation. My presentation actually will be divided to 3 parts. Number one, I'm going to tell you who we are, what our company, what we do. You need to know that, right? So I'm clearing it. Why? Because later I'm going to tell you I need to do my researches on the company. You're not going to buy the company, my friend. So what research? I told you everything you need to know. So I'm telling you from the beginning. Number two is I'm going to show you some benefits, what you actually free benefits come at no cost to you, and I will discuss that with you. And the third part is I'm going to show you some other supplemental benefits you may or may not qualify for, right? Is that fair enough? Guys, somebody answer. Yes? No?
Yeah.
You're always going to get them answer because from the beginning, if you let them go after you ask and they don't answer, they're going to be like that all the time. And you're already losing here because you need them to react with you, right? So, doing the presentation, you're going to know now you become a teacher. You're not doing a presentation to make a sale. You're doing a presentation to somebody to buy. You want the person to say, yeah, I want that. If you try to sell him, you may succeed once, but a lot of times you're not going to be able to do it. So make sure that when you're in the house, you want to teach the people things to make them sure, yeah, I want that. That's when you're really successful. Well, people suffer and come to the end and they keep going back and forth and they live without a check. That's not good. But if you did right from the beginning, you can close your deal very easy. Right? So I get there, I stick my presentation. I say, well, I want to ask you something, John. Do you attend your union meeting? Yes, no, whatever it is. Well, my job today is, if you go every day, I just want to make sure that you don't miss nothing on those, and I'm going to go over everything, right? Before I start, I would like to remind you that you filled out the yellow benefits card. In some union, in some local, it's a blue card and it's a yellow. So I just want to make sure you remember that right here. What is this? I'm giving him a trust now. Look at this. You can look at it. So when they look at that, and they say, hey, yeah, I put my, oh, it's not my handwriting, or my wife, or whatever, it's done, you agree. And I would like to tell them, listen, this is the union letter, the local union letter, what the international union president agree on, and it came to you local, and they actually send this letter with this certificate, so I would like you to look at that, or I can read it for you. So I tell them the highlighted points here, and I show them the other one, what's Nilico supposed to do? There's somebody from National Income representative, which is myself today, to come here and go over these benefits with you and offer you some supplemental benefits. As I said, you may or may not qualify. Is that fair enough? They already prepared something going to happen here. So I don't leave it for them. I take it. So it's a give and take, right? I take it from them, put it in front of me. This way. They sit down and start. Okay. The first thing you want to do, my company name is Nilico National Income. Did you ever hear about us? You guys respond. Somebody say yes, no? No, right? Well, the reason you don't hear about us, because my company exclusively work with, is your answer. Credit union, Federal Credit Union, and a big association. We were sponsored by credit union. Why? Because my company is the only 100% union company in the U.S. National Income Life Insurance Company established when? 1924. That means nothing to them. But I'm going to tell you how you can make it better. Established in 1924, we have assets. It's now actually exactly, we should change this. It's around $30 billion in life insurance for a union member like you and me with no debt. But when I say here 1924, people don't hear it sometimes. Maybe they think Erico. Maybe they're not paying attention. Now they're looking at you. They concentrate. They look here and they look at you again because you're talking, if you get their attention. 1924, Jean. It is 87 years in business. 87 years. That's a long time, right? What do you think? It's a great, right? 87 years in business and doing that much. And remember, no advertisement, right? So, we are a member of the local 277. We union like yourself too, right? And my company actually established in the 50 states. In every state as national income, and in New York as national income. Outside in New York as American income. And also, if you plan to move out of the state, you go to, let's say, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Canada, New Zealand. They're opening in some part of Europe now. They're going to Ireland and Italy. So you can be there. You're still insured with us. Okay? If somebody comes to you and tell you, that's not, usually you go after that, right? We keep going. But let's say somebody tell you, why is Nilico here? And American income in other 49 states. Anybody know the answer?
New York makes us, they wouldn't allow us to use that license, so we have to...
Yeah. The insurance department in New York, it's kind of difficult a little bit. What they do is they want the headquarters of the company has to be in the New York State in order to do that. So what they did is they give the company name Nilico and they open in Syracuse and they have the headquarters there. But our main headquarters is in Waco, Texas, and we are the same company. All right. If that's the person tell you why is like two different names, American Income and National Income. The good news is that we have around 5 million and make the number look good. I'm not going to say in the house, oh, we have 5,000 people, and the people correct you. No, it's 5 million. Right? Or 50. So I have 5 million members from around 30,000 different union and association. Guess what? There's no advertisement. We must be doing something right. Do you agree? You guys agree on that or no, right? That's a lot of business, and we don't even advertise. You're never going to see us on TV, in the newspaper, on the flyers, or anything. When I come to this point, I say like that, John, how long you work with the union?
2 years.
2 years? I don't mean John, you. I'm just saying John. But anyway, but it's good. Somebody else answered. 2 years, right? Somebody else. That's very good. That's good. Great. Somebody else say something?
7 years.
7 years. That's great.
5
How many years?
5 years.
5 years.
22 years.
Whoa, wow, that's very good. You should be the president, man. Okay. What somebody say, I just started 6 months ago. Oh, really? That's it? No. Very good. That's very good. You become a union member.
Yeah,
No
congratulations.
matter what he say, if the guy said, I'm starting yesterday, they get the car today, and I email it fast, no matter what, just make them feel fine. Doesn't matter. So I said, well, when you work 6 months, you work 2 years, you work 22 years like Josh, you know better than anybody, and you're going to help me here. That 22, you know what? You want to gain the person in charge in the house in your side. And that's make a lot of good. That person in the end, if you give you, excuse me, if you sell your shoes to him, he's going to buy it because he's in your side. Yes. How's my shoes? It's good? Good. You want to buy it? Yeah. So he's going to agree with you, right? You want to make sure who's there and don't fight them. You're never going to fight them. You want to make sure, first of all, I sense who's in charge. There's the husband and a wife. Is Katia in charge or Jean? I think Katia because you keep looking back to her. No, whatever, right? So you know that you focus on her, you give the other person attention to. So I'm sure 22 years in the business that you know that when people work, after you work and you retire, what happens to your benefits, what they give you? They give you some health, some life, term life, some accidental death and dismemberment like the one I bring you today, and they give you some dental coverage, maybe, not everybody. So when you leave the union, what happens with those benefits? Let them answer. What happened? Huh? They leave, right? You leave them. Very, very, very little amount of union locals, they give you some discount. But you're going to need like 36 years credit working with the union to get like the cut, benefits there. So basically those union leave. So what's our job in national income? Why I'm here today? To make sure that I'm going to give you some benefits you carry as your briefcase. It's all the time you have it. You work, you leave the union, you retire, you quit, whatever happened, you're protecting your family. Is it something good here you think about or no? It is good, right? Okay. So I come to here, family data sheet. I don't know if you guys doing it, if I go through these details, but this is very important. You think you can just pass it. So what do? You take the family data sheet. Everybody knows what is that, right? Okay, so when you take this, some people think it's not like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you gonna what? Don't write nothing. People say that, right? Sometimes. Already they don't get the trust yet. But if somebody say, oh, okay, they start to answer. I say, listen, I'm just doing some survey like our company do. We'll go over some stuff here. I mean, everything is in the paper. I don't really need nothing. And I put the name because I know the name. And when I put the date of birth, which is on here, I already know and I calculate how old is he today. And the second thing, I confirm it. I'm sure I want to make sure you're born in 9/16/1960, right? Oh, okay. Very good. So you are 50 years old or 49 years old, right? Okay. Affiliation, occupation. I know you're coming from a union, but somebody from the carpenter union doesn't mean they are carpenter. Maybe they work shop store, they do some stuff there. I don't know. We don't know. So don't assume anything. Ask them. So what's your title in the job? You put it in, right? The second thing I come, hourly wages. How much you make? How much you make an hour?
Commission. Commission.
Like how much you make? Average. If you look at
$25.
$25. It's very nice to answer me right away. But I'm here in the house for 20 minutes. Some other person would say what? What do you want to know about it? It's wrong. You can't tell somebody how much you make unless you really, really, really in that time. Some people very nice and it's very rare to find that. But you don't want to ask people how much you make. It's no good, right? So what we did or what we do, right? Asking the person. You told me you worked 22 years in the union, right?
Yep.
I bet you anything you want to say that you forgot already how much you used to make when you started. You remember the first week when you get paid, how much it was an hour that time?
I don't know now.
You remember how long? 22 years ago, how much you used to make? Average $10, $12, $5?
Or like
$10, $12. Wow, 20 years ago. So now you're making $20, right?
yeah, about that.
So what kind of unit is that, man? $20 after 22 years. So when you talk to people, you're gonna say, listen, how much you making 20 years ago? The guy said, oh, I remember it was like $7, $8. It was embarrassing. They make us that. So after 20 years, I don't say you make $50. I said, well, you're making now maybe 20. You're making like $20. The guy right away jumped. Oh, I make $35. Right? So you get them to say it, right? Even if they want to say it, you get them to say it, right? So what's the reason you want to know that? Hey, this is your key. This is what's going to show you how the rates. What are you going to do, right? How much you're going to put in for them? Because if I don't know the person making how much, I'm not going to be able actually to figure out in the end what plan I'm going to give him, right? Because you pay the plan depending on what?
On the salary
On what? What's your plan depending on? Hour? And that's what you talk to them before you close. You talk about hour power, right? Well, you guys don't do that. The hour power is very important, right? So depending on that, I'm going to find out. Okay, the occupation, the spouse, I go over that fast, and the children, date of birth and everything. This way you know in the end what you're going to give them. And you come down here, all this question here, just I ask him in one question, because you don't want to waste time. So listen, John, between you, your wife, and the two kids, did any of you taking any medication for any reason? I think this is clear enough to say. If diabetic, if high blood pressure, blah, 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 you don't want to go through this. So one question, make sure that you're taking any medication for any reason. Oh, I take vitamin D for my brain, whatever. That's not medication, right? Okay, so I know if they say anything, you just circle it and you find out why. If the guy said, well, I'm taking some injection, Violex, whatever, every week because I'm HIV positive. So that guy is out of the book, right? You're not going to insure that guy, right? You know. The person taking chemo is a cancer, whatever. So you're not going to be able to insure it. So the main thing in here that you can really know, you can continue with the presentation or stop, or what are you going to do? That's a very important, right? So working on this. Do you have a DUI? Anybody? Anything? Any problem with the authority? Felony, something, problem, anything? You figure it out. You clear this for yourself, right? That's it. Physician, I don't really tell them you have a physician. I don't ask that because it's gonna come anyway. Union member has a checkup and all that. They should have that. So I don't ask that. The last one here, the bank account. Do you have a bank account? The same way when you ask, what is bank account? You're gonna ask, what do you need to know if I have bank account or no? Right? It's strange, right? So a very nice way and a simple way to ask. You say, okay. You remember in the beginning of my presentation, I told you my company work with who? Union member, credit union member, and from the credit union member, we do a survey because we want to find out union member, they deal with credit union bank or just regular banking. Do you deal with which one? Oh, I got both. I got Citibank. A woman told me one day, I have this, you want to see my account? I said, no. Not now, later. But, you see how you can bring it. But some people, we had somebody one day, the guy asked him I said, he threw him out of the house because he asked him for his account. You have an account? What the hell is it? What is it? So depending how you bring him in, and, you break their question in. So this is going to help you a lot. Oh, you did?
No. I just tell them that we have additional, you bank with a credit union because we have additional, or a regular bank. Like I said earlier, we have additional banking.
But I think you do this simple. Say, listen, we bank we want to make sure as a union member you bank with credit union or regular, because you said earlier that we deal with credit union. So we just want to make sure that. Because the person tell you what benefit, what are you going to give me? I bank with credit union, what are you going to give me? So now you're getting into the point. So family information, family data sheet is very important. When I come here, I bring this, I say, well, this is, we're going to come now to this. The first part, we already did everything you need to know about the company, who we are, what we do. Point. And I said, my company being recognized by the AM Best as one of the top company in the U.S., we're getting A+ superior. I see you got a couple of kids in the school. What about the school start today, guys? So what about in the end? Thank you. What about in the end of the school, and your child comes in with the report card? What do you want him to have? A, right? What about A+? It's great. What about A+ superior? Our company get an A+ superior. I'm very proud of that. By AM Best. AM Best is the company rates everybody in the insurance department, in the insurance business, in the financial business. So you can go online, go to AM Best, click on national income or American income. They show you that we are A+ superior. That's something very good, right? So basically now I wrap it up for the company. You know everything about, you need to know about our company. We one of the top insurance company, work with credit union, federal credit, and a big association in the U.S. We do the supplemental benefits for you. That's why your union choose us. We have over 5 million members from around 30,000 different associations. We A+ superior. That's great. Let me get into the second part, which is your free benefit. The first one here is the accidental death and dismemberment. Remember that I show you when you fill out the card. And I explain this to them. How would that work for you? Every dues paying member in the union, either retiree or working, they qualify for this when they apply for. It's a $2,000 or $4,000 now because they have different one. $4,000. How would that work? In case of you die from an accident, clear, right? Your beneficiary will get the $4,000. So Marie will get $4,000 if you die in an accident. What about if you die naturally? You're not getting nothing from that because this is an accidental death. It works only for 1 year, right? You apply for that, it's going to stay only 1 year. So people don't think they have insurance. And the second thing is, what about dismemberment? If you lose your eye, one foot, or one hand, you qualify for the half. One day, one guy told me, what about if I want to have the whole thing? I said, if you get one eye, cut a hand, or cut the other, do the other eye, you got both, a combination of both. I swear he asked. I mean, joking when I said, is you worry about $2,000, with $1,000 actually. I said, well, sir, you can mess up your other eye in an accident, so you'll be blind, but you got $2,000. So that's worth it? No. So, and in the end, what I'm going to do, okay, we're going to sign this up here. I sign it up for you. And make sure you sign it, your beneficiary sign it. Who take care of the important paper in the house? Whatever, the husband, okay. When we're done, I'm going to give you this, and you're going to keep it, make sure that you have it with the important paper in the house. Katia, I see everything. I got 5 eyes. All right? So, when you come on this here, guys, I don't know what you say about that, but I get the discount code, and I talk about the discount code. I tell them a little bit. Don't forget, we're not selling health insurance for them. We don't have a health insurance, right? We have an accidental cover, but not health. So talking about that too much and going deep is no good. But it's going to help you a little bit to get some benefits too, some referral. So when I talk about that, I bring the card out and I tell them, look, do you have a health coverage? Great. Yes. Very good. In case you lose your health coverage, you don't have it, or I see you wearing glasses like me. So how many times your plan cover your eyeglasses? If you break it, you change it what? 1 time, 2 times. What about if it happened 3 times in the 12 months? You're going to go pay 100% of your pocket, $300, $400 to get a new glasses. So if you had this benefits card, you fill it out, you sign it, costs only $6 for the whole family, people under 18 and the mother or father. It will actually allow you to get 15 to 35% or whatever percentage they give you. I want you to understand that this is not a health coverage. It is a discount benefits card. You qualify for that. I'm going to give you that. You can fill it out and send it, mail it, or do it through the email or through the internet. It's fine. and in the end, it will actually benefit you. And I'm going to ask you for some friend or family member. You know, a lot of people don't have health coverage. They may help them because you work on different plans, dentists, work on physicians, work on pharmacy, prescription drugs, eyeglasses, ears, whatever, older people for vitamins and stuff. So it's something good really to give me some referral. Some people, I will deliver that free to them. And now you're already building your referral, right? Child safety kit. When you come to child safety kit, you want to take it out. You want to leave it. I prepare it. I put it on the table. I put one and I hold one. As soon as they say it, you want to see what it is. And you open it and you tell them. It depends. You're not going to do that with somebody 65 years old, doesn't have no kids, but they may have grandchildren. So you mentioned it a little bit. So when they have kids in the house and you saw somebody in the early 30s and 40s and they have kids, you want to really put a lot of input in this. So you take it and say, what's more important to you in life than your children? Nothing, right? They are the most important thing to us, right? So protecting your kids is very important. And use the news always. A couple of weeks ago, 3-4 weeks, a month, when the Jewish kids there in Brooklyn happened, the kidnapping get killed, I used this a lot in the house. And people were shaking their head. I said, if they have something like this, it might be helpful to get that child back home fast. Because I'm sure a police officer saw him with the guy in the car, and they don't realize they're both Jewish. But if they have this mentality, we'll stop and say, hey, who's that kid? So the first 24 hours, couple of hours is the most critical time to bring the child safe to his family. So the more important thing here, I would like you to fill out this, and you open it, show them, and you tell them why they say that. Because if the child is missed here, right, the police will take 60-mile circle every hour. And if you ask where they get this from, because this is the average speed of a car in an hour. So if somebody picked up that child here, he's going to travel in any direction 60 miles at this average speed. So for them to look at that 1 hour, it costs them that. If the child is ready 2 hours, they look at 120, 180. So the more time they get the news, the everything, the more effort and the more time and distance they're going to look, which is difficult to bring the child safe. So the most important thing is to fill it out, show them how to do the fingerprint, put it in, and ask for a lot of referral for that. I would like you to give me a couple of names of families or co-workers or neighbors who had children. I will deliver that free to them with no cost. I show them how to do it. In the end, would you like me to do that for your kids? I can do the fingerprint, and I always ask them to take a little from the hair or the nail and staple it or whatever, put it on with the scotch tape on the end and one of the page. This way, God forbid, for a DNA. So it's very important to make sure that. And I have a good news for you, that I have a very good plan for children too. I will show you to make sure that you protect them right. You're mentioning the heads, right? And now you get them. Well, the time now, I don't want to really... Did we did that part good? Did anybody have any question for that? Right? Okay. I would say maybe by next week we're going to do the second part, right? But at least part of that, this is what you want to do. In the house, you don't want to be talking, you want to be teaching. You see? When you talk to, I talk to them the same way I talk to you now. I got somebody in the house one day, the guy told me, hey, excuse me, please, can you just lower your voice a little bit? Because I was talking really loud to them. The neighbor here. I don't mind. But that's what you want to teach them, right? And in the end, we're going to go over that next part, and we get to closing, and if anybody has any questions, we're going to do that every Thursday, whatever, from 3:30 to 4, whatever, or 3 to 4. So if you guys know that, when I start, we used to do this all the time, and it really helped me a lot. We're going to ask questions, everybody comes with different situation, and you learn from people's experience. Like, yeah, you tell me something, this happened in the house. If I know that, so it may happen to me, why not? So I already know how you get through that. So we always here to learn from each other, right? And if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask, all right? And everybody bring his checkbook next week. All right?
No, every How long does that work for?
For as long as we want to go.
All right. Well, you see, another thing is where you sit. You see, I don't have you sitting across the table. The reason why that's a barrier. You want to sit next to you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more personal. Okay. Now, like I said, it's for Luis Rosado. So, Luis, you remember filling out this card?
See.
Okay. Now, with this card in the mail, you should have received these 2 letters. Okay. The first letter is from your union president, Lou Smith. Do you know Lou Smith?
No.
No. All right.
But he's.
No. Yeah. That's your union president. Okay. And the letter says that the Nilico representative, who is a member of OPIU Local 277, will call on you to witness your beneficiary and deliver your certificate and other no-cost benefits, okay? Now, with this letter, you should also receive this one, all right? Again, it's from Lou Smith, okay? And it says, in cooperation with your Teamsters Local Union 810, a national income life insurance company, 100% union label company with a long-standing history of servicing unions and their members. All right, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my company, National Income Life, okay? Okay, like I said, name of the company is National Income Life. Okay, we're exclusive to union members, credit unions, and those who are sponsored by union members. Because we're union members, all right? We were established in 1924, and we have assets that exceed $24 billion. Okay, like I said, we're office professionals, Local 277. Okay, we're licensed in all 50 states, Canada, Puerto Rico, New Zealand, and we were just licensed in Ireland. Okay, we're an NIL rated A+ superior for claims payment ability, and we're also Ames Best Company. All right. We have over 5 million members and 30,000 unions and associations, and we do all of that without advertising. So you see, we have to be doing something right, don't you think?
Indeed.
Okay, these are international presidents. They do the underwriting on all the policies, all right? And when we come to a local union member like yourself, the international presidents, they want us to update the district file. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, all right? Is that okay?
That's a family survey.
That's right here. You see, remember I tell you I have everything lined up?
Yep.
That's right here. There's the district file. So you ask them all these questions, and then from those questions, then you jump to this. Okay. Now, remember I was telling you about that we were established in 1924, but we went union in 1951, and the reason why is because the international presidents, they were looking for an insurance company that would cater to union members like yourself's needs. The reason why is because when a union member like yourself, when you leave the union, or if you retire, what will happen to your benefits?
They're done.
Exactly. So that's what we do. We fill in the gaps. Okay. Now, the reason why I was originally here for. Okay, this is your accidental death and dismemberment certificate. It's non-contributory and it's non-participating, meaning that it's totally free to you. Now, if you lose your life in an accident, okay, your beneficiary, your son, will receive $4,000. Now, the dismemberment part of the certificate is if you lose both hands, both feet, sight in both eyes, or the combination of the three, you will receive $4,000. Okay? Now, if you lose one hand, one foot, or sight in one eye, it will be cut in half, so it would be $2,000. Okay? Now, we know that $4,000 isn't a lot of money, but in a time of need, anything's better than nothing, right? Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is National Income's way of saying thank you for being a union member. Now, when's the last time somebody thanked you for being a union member?
Mm-hmm.
Never, right? Nobody thanks me either. I'm Local 277. Nobody thanks me for being a union member. Okay, so I want you to check if all the information is correct. You sign it, date it, and I signed it. That's that. Okay. Now, I'm gonna read the rest of the
What you got in there?
paper clips.
A page hung up?
No,
You don't
I don't do that. I
So you
don't.
just zip it up?
Yeah.
Alright.
Mitch wanted me to keep it in there, but I don't do
Yeah.
it. Now I'm gonna read you the rest of the letter. Okay. Nilico supplemental benefits are non-competition with any group benefits through your workplace/employer, and can complement any insurance policy that you already have. If you choose to take advantage of the insurance programs offered to you through the international presidents, your benefit program is permanent and portable throughout your lifetime. We have automatic built-in features such as strike and layoff waiver of premium. Now, what is if your Teamsters union would go on strike, we would pay for your benefits. Hold on. Hello? Hey, what's going on? Okay, you need Sean's? Okay. Okay, I'll call him up right now. I know. All right, bye. Social. It's yours and Sean's. Okay, so where was I? Or go throughout your life.
The right.
Oh yeah. So what that is if your union would go on strike, we would pay for your benefits the whole time you're on strike.
Until you come back home.
Okay. Now, and if you would get laid off, we would pay the first 3 months of your premium. All right. If you qualify, because you have to qualify for this coverage. Okay. It lasts a lifetime and it's under your independent control. Once the program has been explained to you, we're sure that you'll agree with many participating members that is one of the most valuable programs you've ever seen. Now, it's just saying that to take a couple of minutes to listen to the Nilico representative. And like I said, this is from Lou Smith, your president. Okay? Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in charge of a funeral before?
I said, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you
It's
would
like
know.
the guy, remember?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, we just did our uncle and blah, 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 and blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would know that there's 67 things that have to be taken care of immediately. And these are them. And here at National Income, we have something to aid with that. You see, because while you're looking at that, you throw this one out. Okay, and what it's called is a family information guide. Okay, with this right here, you're gonna list your vital statistics. I know you're not married, so you're gonna leave that blank, and you're not a veteran, so you're gonna leave that blank. Persons to be notified. Say you had somebody that you fell out of contact with growing up, you want to list them there. You know, because you know somebody that you were close to. Anybody like that, you would list there. Okay. Next thing is, who would be in charge of your funeral arrangements? Do you know?
No.
No. Well, you would list them here. You would find out who would be, and you would list them there. Okay. Last will and testament. Do you have a last will in place?
Nope.
Don't worry about it. No, most people don't. All right, but I'll show you how you can take care of that later. Okay. Estate information. Millions of dollars a year are lost because, say, your family members, say the $4,000 policy that I just gave you. You would list it here, all right, but you don't write the dollar amounts. I'll tell you about it later, okay? Financial institutional. Now you said you bank with Chase, okay? Now let's say if when you pass away, your family, your loved ones don't have access to your account, so you know what happens to it.
It's forfeit them, right?
What it is that the government they freeze it and then they take it. Now we don't want them to do that to your hard work and money, right? So that's why you want to list everything down here. So your family can have access to it. Last part of it is funeral service request. Okay, with this right here, you want to list down everything. Because I'm sure when you pass away, your family's going to be really emotional. And you don't want them to have to guess to how to, put you into the ground, or they're going to cremate you or whatever. So you want to handle that right now on your own. Okay, you sign it, you date that, and then you get it notarized. Then you have a funeral service request and a legal document. All right? So I'll leave this for you.
You do that. This comes on the 67 page.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just checking out here.
You see? Okay, do you ever watch 20/20 or 60 Minutes?
Yeah.
All right, well, there was a show that aired about 5 years ago, and the name of the show was called The Final Payment. And what that show was about is how much a funeral costs nowadays. Do you know how much a funeral costs?
$5,000.
No, well, 5 years ago it cost about $8,000. Nowadays it's between 10 and 12. Okay.
Pretty expensive.
Now, when you talk about funerals and you talk about insurance, then you talk about life expectancy. Okay, you're 34 years old. Okay, your life expectancy is around the age of 83 years old. Okay, and that's roughly 49 years from now. That's the good news. But the bad news is 50 years from now.
Same sense as National Income. It's the same company. Because when I started working with the company, I started with American Income in New Orleans, in Louisiana. That's where I'm from. Now with American Income, we have offices in all 49 states, plus Canada, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, New Zealand, and we just got licensed in Ireland. Now, the reason we're not called American Income in the state of New York's the only state that has a sanction, where your main home office has to be in that state. And you do this with other industries also. Our main home office is in Dallas, Texas. So we made a small home office in Rochester, New York, and call ourselves National Income. Same company. Okay? Next, I want to apologize. Normally I'm in a suit and tie, but I have to wear this thing for a couple more days, okay? But don't worry, I'll hit with my left, okay? All right? Now, I want to congratulate you for making it through the first phase of the interview process. You're welcome. Right now we're going through a mass expansion. I know every company would love to say that, but we can because we grew over 23% last year. They consider it a recession right now. We grew over 23%. The last 4 years, we grew in double digits. So this year, excuse me?
The company's public?
Yes. So this year, we want to open up 3 new offices within our territory. Now, right now, our territory is the 5 boroughs in Long Island. My main office, where my office is in Long Island City in Queens. We have an office in the Bronx. We have an office here in Staten Island, and we're looking to open up an office in Brooklyn and 2 in Long Island before the end of the year. So we're looking for some good people to come on board with us. So right now, we're going through between 6, 7, 8, sometimes 900 resumes every week. We look for key phrases, job experience. We pull those resumes out, give it to someone to contact you for this opportunity, because we saw something there. So once again, congratulations for making it through the first phase. All right, you're welcome. Now you get me. I'm the second phase. Don't be alarmed. Has nothing to do with the hiring process. All I'm here to do today is to let you know who we are, what we do, what kind of career you can have with us, but the biggest thing is what kind of money you can make. Isn't that why we're here? You sure?
Yes.
All right. Now listen, when I'm talking today, I want you to keep an open mind, because I'm going to tell you some things that may sound too good to be true or borderline crazy. Now the reason I say that, I thought the same thing when I was sitting in your chair 8 years ago. Also, I'm going to tell you some things that sets us apart from other life insurance companies out there. Because I'm going to give you enough information today so you can decide for yourself if you want to proceed with this or not. Fair enough?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody have a website sheet? Okay. That is to make sure you do your own homework on us. Okay? Do your own research. Make sure everything I'm saying today is on those websites. Okay? Now I'm going to follow those bullet points. So if you want to take some notes. So let's get started. I'm going to talk about the company. The company started in 1924. But we didn't start flourishing until 1951. And that is when our founder, Bernard Rappaport, he purchased American Income Life Insurance Company for $25,000, which he borrowed from someone. Pretty good, right? Now, I'm also sorry to say that Bernard Rappaport, he did pass away 2 weeks ago. He was 95 years old. Okay? He lived a good life. Now, he was always a supporter and believer in labor unions. Always was. He wanted to make this small life insurance company a union life insurance company. You ever heard of a union life insurance company? Kind of crazy, right? So he had his work cut out for him. So this is what he did. He got together with all 46 international labor union presidents. The international, not the local, not the regional, the international presidents. He formed his own labor advisory board. This labor advisory board, they meet twice a year. And all they do is come up with new incentives, benefits, and negotiate rates for union members. That's all they do. Now, since we have the international presidents on our labor advisory board, we became the first, and still only, 100% union life insurance company. But only one out there. Now, there's other companies, they'll say, oh yeah, we work with unions. If you come on board with us, you become a union member. for Local 277, the office professionals. OPEIU Local 277. They gave us our own local number for the whole nation. Now, besides the international presidents being on our labor advisory board, now back in the 50s, this is what was happening with the local union members. They were complaining to the international presidents of labor unions for the simple fact is whenever they'd retire or leave the union, all their benefits would go away. It's like every other job, right? But some of these members were putting 30 and 40 years and nothing to show for it, especially for life insurance. So the international presidents were looking for a small life insurance company at that time, we were small, to take care of these needs for independent life insurance for these members that they can keep after they leave the union. Because I don't want to show of hands now because I don't want to embarrass anybody. But just think about it. How many families actually have independent life insurance outside of their job? Think about it. It's crazy. Everybody thinks because just you got something through the job that they're fine. But that's going to end. We all agree to that, right? So that's where we step in. Now, our main focus is to make sure when one of our brothers and sisters in the union, whenever they pass away, that none of the family members have to come out of pocket for any final expenses. That's it. We don't want anybody to get rich off of anybody else. We just want to make sure that is covered. Now, how we cover that is with a whole life benefit. It's a funeral benefit. Now, with whole life, once you lock that rate in, you pay that same rate, and it never increases. So we try and sign members up during their working years. Why? So they can pay for it, right? Also, at a younger age, you get a better rate, right? So we sign them up during their working years. And what happens is, with a whole life benefit, it gains cash value. Now what happens with that cash value, as you continually pay into it throughout the years, when you turn 65 and retire, all that cash value that accumulated will pay off that policy. And you're still covered with life insurance and no bills. How great is that? That's our main focus. That is it. Now, we have the lowest rates in the industry. As far as whole life, nobody can compare to us. And when I say that to people in the industry, they always want to know why. And it's pretty simple. Well, a lot of things I'm going to say today are pretty simple. The first reason, our rates are union negotiated through the international presidents, which makes them pretty low. And then we don't advertise. We save millions of dollars a year by not advertising. Anybody's ever heard of national income before they were called? Me neither. Okay? You'll never see a blimp with our name on it, and we don't teach animals how to talk. Who do you think pays for all those cute little advertisements? The consumers do, right? We knock that out. Okay? That's probably the lowest prices in the industry. And also, we're not open up to the general public. Now, most people in the industry think that's horrible. I think it's great. But the simple fact is, or the best fact, since we're not open up to the general public, there's no cold calling. We can't call everybody, right? I can't give you a phone book and say, hey, start with the A's. They're pretty good, right? Mm. Also, no prospecting. I won't drop you off at the mall. Oh, go in the food court and start talking to people, right? Mm-hmm. Or I'll drop you off on the street. Oh, this is a great street. Knock on every door. I'll pick you up at the end of the street down there. Can't do that. And we won't ask for 100 friends and family. Because that's how everybody else gets started in this business, right? Your family will still be your family, but your friends might not be your friends anymore because everybody's bothering them, right? Now, how we can do that, and this is how we get our leads, and these are the people we talk to. The people that we associate with are union members, of course, right? So, we got unions, credit unions, licensed organizations, licensed associations, and public schools. That's who we work with. And it all starts with public relations, PR. We have 8 PR managers. They work the whole state. Now all they do is sign and re-sign presidents of local unions, boards of credit unions, licensed organizations, licensed associations, and principals of public schools. Now, when they sign those members up, let's say that PR manager signed up a local Teamster union, the truck drivers, on that local president's letterhead, they'll endorse us as being a 100% union company that's been serving union families for the last 50 years. If you want to see what's about or curious, please fill the card out and send it in. We take that letter, attach the card, and we send it to all their members. Now, when I tell people that in the industry, it's like, oh yeah, it's just bulk mailing, direct mailing. I don't care less what you call it. A direct mailing, a bulk mailing, you know what a good return on with that is? About 2 to 3% maybe, right? We enjoy between 25 to 30% return. It's unheard of in the industry. And it's not rocket science, but we're the only company that does it that way. What it's called is a third-party endorsed lead. It's endorsed by that local president, right? We're sending it to all their members. Who elected that local president? The members, right? Don't they trust that local president?
They would have to.
Yeah, or used to trust them, right?
Right.
That's how we have a good return. We take that card, we scan it in our data bank, break it up by zip codes, and those are the people you contact. Pretty good, right? It's a good lead, right? Our claim to fame is that we talk to people that want to be spoken to. Plain and simple. We don't want to waste anybody's time, and we don't like wasting our time. Because we can guarantee them, if they fill that card out, we can guarantee them we will call them. And we can also guarantee if they don't fill that card out, they will never, ever be contacted, and they miss out on the lowest rates in the industry. That's how we feel about it. Pretty good? Now, if a company provides you with those types of leads, they'll charge you for it. Right? 5, 10, 15, 20, sometimes $25 a lead. These are real good leads. Here you don't pay for your leads. Now, once again, if you're talking to people in the industry, they think it's crazy. How can your company not pay for leads? Because most of the companies don't even give out the leads. You're knocking on every door. You're hanging. Who do we work for? The international presidents, right? Right? Every international president wants every local member to have this coverage for them and their family, right? So why should that local president charge us for these names of their local members? Which is in turn charging the international presidents. Wouldn't that be a short phone call? Okay, that's why we don't pay for our leads. That is unheard of in this industry. Unheard of. Any questions how we get our leads? Simple, right? Okay. Let's talk about the people we're looking for. In this industry, and especially with our company, you have to be a people person. And I know everybody's a people person, right? Right?
We are people.
Yes, exactly. You got one step one, all right? But you got to go one step further than that. You got to get people to trust you, especially what we're providing for them, right? And also the way the economy is. They got to trust us. And it's once again simple again. This is how they trust us. We educate them. Plain and simple, we educate them. If you look at it, the members we go see are blue collar workers. They all make between $20,000 to $80,000 a year, right? Right, blue collar workers. Do you think financial planners are banging down their doors to explain that to them? No. That's our job. That's what we do. We're consultants also. You come on board with us, we'll educate you how to educate them. We'll educate you on different types of life insurance. Whole life, term, variable, flexible, fixed, accidental, critical illness, when you need it, when you don't need it. And then they pick out a plan. This is how affordable we make it. The international presidents doesn't want any member to spend more than 1/40th of their income for this coverage.
More than one?
1/40th of their income. Okay? May sound like a lot of money, But most of the members we go see, they work 40 hours a week, right?
1 hour.
That's 1 hour. All right. And what's your name back there?
Yossi.
Jose.
Yossi.
Yossi?
Joseph, yeah.
Joseph. That's best. Joseph. Let me ask you a question, Joseph.
Yes.
Let's say you're with the local carpenters union, the 157th, okay? You've been with them for 25 years. And let's say you go into work tomorrow and they say you can only work 39 hours. Would you quit?
Probably not.
No. Would that take food off your table, drastically change your life?
No.
No. But I can get your family covered with that 1 hour.
All family?
Yeah.
Good.
How great is that?
Great.
Now let me ask you another question. Let's say you go into work tomorrow and you say you can work 41 hours. You can buy a new Mercedes for that extra hour?
Nah.
Okay, if you did, let me know where you got it. Okay? That's how affordable we make it. Okay? So besides for being a people person and getting people to trust you, because we can take care of that. I'm looking more for managers than I am for salespeople. Now, when I started with the company 8 years ago, I got in a little trouble with our president and CEO. His name's Roger Schmidt. When you do your research, you'll see who I'm talking about. But the simple fact is, I wanted to use my experience to bring people aboard. I'm from the hotel industry. I used to run luxury hotels in the French Quarter in New Orleans. I lived in the French Quarter for 10 years. 10 Mardi Gras. Fun, fun, fun. Okay? Now, when I started hiring for managers, I got a call from Roger Schmidt. Now, I never met him before. You know, I saw him on the internet and maybe some tapes and things like that. So I'm all excited. I get a phone call from him. This is 3 months into my job. And I'm all excited. Mr. Smith, hey, it's Mitch. You know, Mitch, what are you doing? I was like, doing great. Production's up. You know, recruiting. You know, everybody's making money. Heard you're looking for managers. Well, yes, I am. This is a sales-driven industry. We looking for sales, 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 sales. That's it. Now, if you ever get to know me, somebody takes me on like that, I don't care who it is. I voice my opinion. Okay? So, I said, well, now he's not Mr. Smith anymore. Now he's Roger. Well, Roger, let me ask you a question. And it's a pretty simple one. When your company hired me 3 months ago, did you hire me as a salesperson or a manager? I want to know right now. Oh, you, manager. Why is that? Well, you used to run those luxury hotels. I stayed at one of them. Pretty good. Okay. Well, Roger, I want you to listen to me now. I like working smart instead of working hard. Does that make me lazy?
Nope.
No. Who's easier to train, a salesperson or a manager? Think about it. Managers are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we all know at least one person. We all know that one person, right? I can sell anything. You know that person, right? You know what the problem with those people are? They sell the products first before they sell themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a manager, a supervisor, or have management skills. Now listen, some people don't even know they have management skills. Why? Because they were never given a chance. We give people those chances. Because if you have management skills, a supervisor or manager before, you sell yourself first, right? And the products come later. That's what we need, right? It's all about trust.
That's right.
It's all about trust. Also, 5 out of 7 positions you hold in this company are in management. So I asked Roger Smith again, so why are we continually looking for salespeople when our structure is for management? So now what do you think the company's looking for now?
Makes sense.
Okay? So keep that in mind. Also, the biggest thing I'm looking for leaders. I'm looking for someone that may want to run one of those offices I'm opening up. And I'm always out on the look for somebody that wants my job. I'm not afraid of it. Anybody want my job? Nobody? Nobody wants my job?
I'll give it a shot.
You give it a shot, huh? Listen, come and get it. I'm not afraid of it. Look, it happened twice. How do you think I got from New Orleans to New York City? I'm finding people to take my place. I want somebody to take my job. I'm moving up in the company. I'm not moving out, I'm moving up. That's all these managers are. That's how it's a good corporate setting. Well, I've been in the corporate world where every Friday you're pulling knives out of your back, or swords, because somebody's stabbing you, right? Not here. Not here. The way it's structured. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right, you ready to talk about money?
Yeah.
You sure?
That's why we're here.
Exactly. All right.
At least why I'm here.
What if I told you if you work for our company for 3 years, we will pay you for 10 years? Pretty good, right? No?
What is the rate of
I thought it was crazy.
How that's supposed to catch, man?
Huh? Well, I told you I was going to tell you some crazy things, right?
What is the rate for 1 year?
Hmm?
What is the rate for 1 year?
1 year?
Yeah.
Well, whatever you make it. Hold on. What if I told you if you work for our company for 10 years, which we consider a career is 10 years, you can retire from our company after 10 years because we're looking for people that want a career. If you came into this door just looking for a job, a job, you know what a job is, right? Just over broke, okay? It's in the place. But if you want a career and you give us 10 years, we will pay you for the rest of your life. Now, I know I'm from New Orleans, and I know I drink a little bit. I wasn't even drunk when they told me this, and I thought they were absolutely crazy. Almost walked out. Probably the way y'all feeling right now, right? Kind of crazy, right? But then they sat me down and explained to me how that can happen. Do you all know what the most lucrative industry you can be in? Now, every time I ask that question, everybody says, you know, banking, finance,
Insurance.
real estate.
Insurance.
You need insurance for everything. You need insurance for the banks, you need insurance for real estate. Right.
You pay for something you're not supposed to use.
You need insurance.
That's the thing.
So what the most lucrative industry you can be in?
Insurance.
I found that out. I found it out. Now listen, back in the 80s, everybody was getting rich in this industry off of renewals, residual income. Now, this is when a client pays into their policy, and every time they pay into it, you get a percentage of that. That's what a renewal is. Okay? Now that was back in the 80s. Now, maybe 10% of the companies still give out renewals. And if they do, it's as long as you're working with the company, because as soon as you leave, you lose that, or they give it to upper-level managers like myself. We're one of the few companies still out there. We give out full renewals. Right after training, you are eligible for 5% renewals. And every promotion, you get a higher percentage. Right now, I'm at 9% renewals. 9%. So let's say I'm at a 5% renewal. Let's say I've been with the company for a year or so. And let's say I sign up a client last April. Well, last May, this is May 1st. Let's say I signed them up last May. And for math purposes, let's say they're paying $100 a month for this coverage. So they paid the $1,200 for the whole year, right? Every month, $100. Renewals kick in after 1 year. So when they pay it this month, and every month that they paid $100 until they pass away or turn 65, I get $5 of that $100. Pretty good? That's just one case. Because everybody that you enroll your first year, you're going to see that in your second year. In your third year, you're going to see the ones you enrolled in your second and your first year. It keeps on steamrolling. Okay? Because if you work for our company for just 3 years, you'll get vested for 10 years of renewals. You can work for 3 years and leave. That's fine. We'll still cut you a check every month for the next 7 years. Now, maybe a couple $100 to $1,000. All depends how good you were, right? If you give us 10 years, you'll get vested for life. Not your life, the life of the policies. Let's say I signed up a 5-year-old in one of our Head Start whole life plans. Odds are I'm going to pass away before that 5-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. Now, they're still going to be paying into it, either their parents or themselves, right? I'm gone. Who gets my renewals now?
Judge.
My son. I know when I'm gone, my son will continually collect that check until every person that I've signed up personally and every person of my agents and managers under me that they've signed up until they all pass away. Oh. How great is that? It's going to change your life. It did with me. It can change your family. And if you work it out right, you can go into the next generation.
What? Question?
Yes.
What happened if
I have a spreadsheet that describes all that stuff. Okay. But your first year, you're letting them pay into it. Because you're not going to get a renewal until they pay for the whole year. Because the company wants to make sure that they want this and they got to pay it the whole year. Because once that first year's paid off, all your advances are paid off. Then you start getting renewals. Okay? Now, I'm already lifetime vested with the company. I didn't have to wait 10 years to get lifetime vested. Because I figured out if you take over a state territory, they call it a state director. You become lifetime vested no matter what else you do. So I'm already lifetime vested. But I still told them I'm going to stay for 10 years. Okay, I got 2 more years. I took over the state of Arkansas before I came here. Anybody's ever been to Arkansas? You don't need to go. It's boring. Okay? And another thing I didn't know, the fastest person to ever become a state director, when I first started with the company, the fastest was a little under 2.5 years. That was the record. I did it in 11 months. So I'm already lifetime vested now. So now they can start calculating my renewals, right? They have to do it anyway, right? So they started projecting and calculating my renewals. So they told me what my renewals are going to be. And I'm a pretty skeptical person. You got to hit me over the head pretty good. But I still did not believe those numbers that they were throwing at me. So the next time I was in Dallas for one of the seminars, I snuck out. It took about 45 minutes to figure out where I was. I made friends with the clerk that cuts checks and projects renewals. Now, she started showing me all my, projections, and I was like, I still, how can that happen? And then she gave me a check to stuff in an envelope. And she had it turned upside down, knowing I'm going to turn it up and see how much it was, right? The check was over $91,000. $91,000. That is what the state director at that time, the state director in New Jersey, made every month just on his renewals. Wow. Now, he's been with the company for 30 years. Okay? I call him greedy. Okay? Because he's still working. If I can make $1 million sitting on my, right? Mm-hmm. That's just greed. Give it to somebody else, right?
I like it.
Yeah, he doesn't have any friends. He's greedy. Yeah. David Hausman, our state director here in New York. He's been with the company for 20 years. I call him greedy also. His renewals are between $35,000 to $40,000 a month. Now, I'm not greedy. I'm going to do about 10 years, maybe 11 to 12, and I'm out of here, right? I'm not doing this for 20 or 30 years. Now, you have to remember, it took a state director in New Jersey. It took him around 4 years. David Hausman took him about 3 years to become a state director. It only took me 11 months, okay? So they were projecting my renewals in 10 years were going to be between $30,000 to $35,000 a month. That's a lot of money where I'm from. All right? A lot of money where I'm from. I'm from South Louisiana. Well, I'm from south of New Orleans. I'm from the swamps. They call it bayous. They make all these reality shows with swamp people and stuff like that. One of those ones was from my hometown. Okay? But the worst part about that, being from the bayous and the swamps, my grandparents spoke Cajun French.
Cajun French?
I couldn't understand them. And they never taught us Cajun French. We were in a generation that they didn't teach it to, because if we talked that Cajun French, they'd look down on us as second-class citizens. But the worst part about that, my real name is Mitchell. Instead of Mitch, it's Mitchell. You know how to pronounce Mitchell in French?
Michelle.
Don't call me that. Okay? I got in a lot of fights when I was little, okay? So that's a lot of money where I'm from. Okay? I'll take that and run with it. Y'all can make the rest of it. That is the biggest thing that got me to this company. That's my retirement plan. That's my retirement plan. You can call it a 401k, but it's not. Because a 401k is looped into the stock market, right? Right? Mm-hmm. I cashed in my 401k from the hotel business because I knew this was it. You know, the only problem that I have, the only risk that I have with my retirement plan is to make sure my clients live.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Normally it's the other way around. You want somebody to pass away so you can make money, right? Better situation. Look, they're happy they're living. I'm happy they're living. I'm making money. Isn't that great? That's my retirement plan. That's my back end money. Now let's talk about your front end money, your spending money. We get paid weekly. We get paid weekly. Also, you are eligible for weekly bonuses every week. Anybody's ever got a weekly bonus? You got it? Pretty good, right?
Not every week.
Oh yeah, this is every week you're eligible for it, okay? Now these weekly bonuses can range anywhere from, you know, $50 to as large as $700, $800, $900. I have a lady that works in Staten Island. She's only been with the company for 3 months. 2 weeks ago, her bonus check was over $900. Pretty good, right? For 1 week? Then there's management bonuses, weekly management bonuses. They call them leadership bonuses. Now, they did this 3 years ago because it used to be monthly bonuses. Now they do weekly bonuses for management. Remember I said 5 out of 7 positions you hold in the company are in management, right? So every time a manager under you or an agent under you, whenever they bonus, the company matches it, and that's your bonus. Imagine if you got 15 or 20 people under you. Now, these weekly management bonuses, they can range anywhere from $250 to the largest I've ever seen in New York was $9,600 for a 1 week bonus. Pretty good? Ask me how I spent it. 1 week, okay? It's a lot of money. Now, when I first started working with the company, it was strictly commission because that's what I wanted. Now, the company changed that. They built in a base now, okay? But when I first started, it was strictly commission because that's what I wanted. Now, let me explain why. Because everybody down south, they thought I was crazy wanting to work on commission. Now, I'm not even supposed to say commission. You know, home office wants me to tell it, oh, it's performance-based at the time. You know what I feel about that? Listen, if you own a car that somebody else owned before you, is it a used car? Right?
Certified.
Or certified pre-owned, right? Okay? Now, the reason I chose that, now, I'm from the hotel industry. Now, I know 9/11, I know it affected New York, tri-state area. It affected the whole nation, right? And it affected tourism. I'm in New Orleans, in the hotel industry. We're 80% tourism. So now I'm going in front of the board at the hotel. They want me to lay off my director of housekeeping, my biggest department. I got to run a 750-room hotel, 17 floors, 300 employees, and you want me to lay off my director of housekeeping? And they told me I have to do that job. Oh, you've done it before? Yeah, I did it before, but I wasn't running the hotel. Next month, I got to lay off my director of security. Guess who has that job? You think I was getting paid more money? No. I was working 6.5 to 7 days a week. It got down to the point where they wanted me to thank them that I still had a job. Anybody been there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is when I finally made a decision that changed my life. Right then and there, I made a decision I will never let anybody or anything ever, I'm talking ever, get in the way of my success. Because I knew I could be successful. I just need to find the right avenue. And I found it. Okay? That's why I chose this. Now, because all I was doing was playing the blame game. Position I was in, I was blaming the economy, I was blaming 9/11, I was blaming this, blaming that. But I should have been blaming myself. I was waiting for things to happen, and the things that were happening wasn't good. I want to start making things happen. I want one person to blame, me. That's it. And I like that situation. Now, 3 years ago, the company changed. When they changed the management bonuses, they changed the structure. But the simple fact is, 95% of the people we hire has never been in the industry before and have never had a license to sell life insurance. Anybody here has a license to sell life insurance? You ever heard the phrase trying to teach an old dog new tricks?
Mm-hmm.
We'd much rather have someone that's never been in the industry before, that's fresh, so we can show you and train you how we do things, like they did with me. I didn't know anything about insurance before I started working with this company. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Because as you can see, we're a little different than most other insurance companies out there. And we have a niche market with the labor unions. And the way we have our leads, all that stuff. It's all different. That's why we want fresh people that we can train. Okay? Now,
How many union workers are not insured so far, do you think there is?
well, even if they're insured, they're always changing their policies too. Because there's always new members that are starting, but also there's members that have policies already. Okay, now they got a raise. Now they can get more coverage. Or maybe they bought a house. Maybe they need more coverage now. Okay? So there's always things.
The insurance company is adding itself to another insurance, or they're just changing?
No, they just up and up their coverage with us.
Oh, up and up the same company.
Yeah.
Up and up. So we're getting it the same. Let's say you're working with one person, you get a policy, and then we open it up. So how is that working?
We have that, and plus we have the new people that are coming aboard also.
What's the percentage? Like how many people a year around we can estimate?
We have people. We're backed up about 6 months right now for people to see. That's why we're hiring so much. I mean,
So there is demand for meeting. There is a demand for meeting. So you get into the company is open to meet other people. There is
especially in New York. This is look, where I was from in Louisiana, it was a right to work state. There wasn't many unions there. This is union heaven. That's why I'm having a ball up here. Okay.
How's Florida?
Florida's a right to work. They work more associations down there in Florida.
I'm looking forward to those people.
Okay.
No, but what does that mean, right? I'm sorry.
Associations. Let's say
Private company.
like private companies or like the CNAs, the Certified Nurses Association, the Snowmobile Association, the license, up north. I'm telling you, in the Adirondacks, they need snowmobiles up there. Okay. But those are the people that we work with. I mean, and that's, that's why I came to work with this company. Now, like I said, 3 years ago, they changed their philosophy. But the simple fact is, we're hiring 95% of people. Now, every time there's a change, because we're actually in a change your career, every time there's a change like that, there's always a learning curve, right? Mm-hmm. So they figure for that learning curve, you'll get a base. Now, it's a small base, but it's a base. Now, as soon as they came up with that, you'll get a base, plus full commissions, plus full bonuses, plus full leadership bonuses. As soon as they did that, I came up with a spreadsheet. Now, this spreadsheet breaks down all the bases, all the bonuses, all the commission schedules to see where you want to be. Also shows you if you want to get into management, how you get into with that manager. If I try to explain to it now, I'm telling you. This is something that you need to know like the back of your hand, because this is your money. Okay? Now, since nobody here is licensed, you have to obtain your license. Okay? It's a Series 1055, Life, Health, and Accident. Now, since you don't have it, you have to go back to school. Because you have to pass a course that certifies you to take this state test to get your license. Now, to be considered a licensed professional, you got to take this course and then pass the test, right? Then you're a licensed professional. If you look at other licensed professionals, how long it took them to get their license, it's unheard of. A stockbroker, 6-9 months, right? Get all the series 7s, and okay. Let's look at a doctor. They're a licensed professional. How many years they got to go to college, right? 9. And an internship, right? What about a lawyer? My sister, she's a licensed professional. My mom used to say, "Oh, why don't you be like your sister, a licensed professional?" Because I turned down law school. She's a lawyer. Oh, how many years she had to go? Oh, 4 years of undergrad and 3 years of law school, right? This license, it's a 1-week course. That's it. It's 1 week. And it's 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Now, when I took that course, It was about $500 for the course, which was a lot of money for me. Okay. Now, we actually have a company that's licensed by the state, AD Banker, licensed by the state, and they know what we're doing. So they asked us to hold those classes in our office in Queens, and we have room there. Now, since they're using our facility, and we have these classes every other week until we ramp up and get all those offices opened up, they give us a discount. It's $200 for the course. That pays for the instructor, for the book, for the online course, and all the practice tests. $200. That's on, not bad at all. $200. Now, after you pass that course, you have to take the state test. Now, you test out of the preliminary course, right, on that Friday. Monday through Friday is the course. If you make over a certain grade on that, and I tell most of the managers, if anybody makes over an 80, we're going to take care of the state test, which is $49. We cannot, by law, we can't pay for the course, but we can pay for the test if we choose to. If you make a certain test, a score on that, if you make an 80 on that, we will pay for you to take the state test. State test is 150 multiple choice questions. You have to make a 70 on it. And please don't answer all C because you'll fail. It's proven. Okay? And then you're a licensed professional. Okay?
You only have to answer 70?
No, you have to make a 70%.
Oh, 70% out of the 150.
Okay? And that's it. Then you're a licensed professional. I thought I could be a licensed professional. I found a loophole. I can be a licensed agent in insurance. Okay? Ask me how much my sister makes, and I'll tell you how much I make. Now, there's no cookie cutter of who's going to make it in this industry or not. Okay? But all I can tell you, in the last 8 years, I've been in this company, I'd much rather have somebody that's street smart, that can talk to people, that can get people to trust them, and that are trainable. And any book smart PhD you can throw at me. What other company says that? No, I went to college. I got my degree. I went from pre-med, then to accounting, and finished out in business management. They said it was a BS in business management. They said it was a Bachelor of Science, but I know what the BS stands for, okay? All right? Roger Smith, our CEO and president, got a GED. He makes millions of dollars a year. David Housen, our state director, don't let him fool you. He went to one semester of college, flunked out, and never went back. I'm telling you, that's the people that we look for. Because those are the people that never can think they make $100,000 a year. And we can show them. Because in the 8 years I've been with this company, I've had over 12 people their first year make 6 figures. And not one of them made close to $40,000 ever in a year.
What are percentage of people that not continue?
Excuse me?
What are the percentages of people that not continue?
Don't continue.
And don't continue what?
In other words, dropped out.
No, they,
No.
they got the insurance license and everything. They continue to work and then they just drop out.
Well, some people, you know a lot of people when I tell you who doesn't want to make $100,000 a year.
Well,
Okay, but are you willing to work for it? Well, you see, that's the problem. Because there's so many people that love to want the money, but they don't want to work for it. You know what? I'm looking for the people, okay? Now, I'm successful because I do things that other people refuse to do. That's why I'm successful. And that's what I look for. If somebody wants me to hand it to them, that's not happening here. Those are the people that leave. I guarantee you that. You show me somebody that has, oh, man, I'll make all this and that. Hey, listen, I'm looking for people that want to make money. I'm looking for people that want the desire to make that type of money. Okay? Because at the beginning, I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie to you, it's tough. It's hard. But I tell you what, ask me how much I work right now. Ask me how many policies, how many people I enrolled in the last 4 years I've been with this company. 0. All I do is manage people now. That's what we want to get the people to do. You know, if you're worried about people that are falling out, if you're more worried about people that are quitting, I'm more worried about people that want to succeed. It's kind of like the half full glass.
No, I'm not worried about it. It's a legitimate question.
Well, it's just like any
If I want
other.
to get into a business, I need to know, what the ratio of people that succeed in it and what's not. We all average. Nobody
Well,
is.
the people that leave us, if you stay with us for 6 months, we keep about 75% of those people.
Okay.
If you don't make it your first 6 months, you got about a 25% chance of making it.
It's a legit answer.
Okay?
Very good answer. Very good answer.
Okay, all right. Now, why is 6 figures? Why is that a plateau that everybody wants to meet every year?
It's a nice wage.
Only 6% of Americans make $100,000 a year.
Wow.
It's embarrassing, and it's getting lower.
Yeah.
Before I started working with this company, I never made 6 figures. With this, I never thought I could make it. With this company, I never made under $100,000 a year, and there's a couple years I made over $250,000. Now, let me tell you my biggest success story, because I love watching people succeed. I love it. Because if they're succeeding, who else is succeeding? Okay? You ever heard the phrase, you hang around dogs and fleas, what you get?
Please.
You hang around successful people, what you become?
Successful.
That's what I breed. Okay? My biggest success story. This was about 6 months into the company. And I was taking a couple of my managers to go watch a motivational speaker, try and pump them up. And on the way there, we stopped off at Wendy's. I know I wasn't supposed to eat fast food, but I was hungry. So when I got in there, all of a sudden, 2 busloads of children come in. I'm like, great, this is going to take forever. By the corner of my eye, I see this person, seeing what's about to happen, running in the back to go grab people from break. Right? Go into the supply room, getting supplies out, turn on the register, turn on the fryer, doing all this stuff. And they weren't a manager, because managers wear different color shirts, you know, who to scream at, right? So I got in this line. Hey, here's my business card. Take it, give me a call. And I'm shoving it at him. It took him 2 weeks to call me. He was embarrassed. I was dressed fairly nice. He was embarrassed. He didn't own a suit, didn't own a tie, didn't own a car, nor had access to a car. I know in New York with mass transit, that's not that big of a deal, but down south, you need a car, right? His first year, he made over $85,000. He was 19 years old. He dropped out of school when he was 15 to provide for his family. He was the oldest of 5. His parents were winners. His father was in Angola State Prison for double murder, not getting out. Mother just figured out what crack was, living on the street. He was 19 years old. I'm happy to say he's 27 years old now. He works at our Shreveport, Louisiana office. He brought him and his siblings up there to get him away from that. He makes over $150,000 a year. He's done special. He's pretty street smart too. I tell you what, he can talk to people and he can get people to trust him. And he was very trainable. That's what we're looking for. Now, let me tell you what this company's done for me now. And every time I say that, everybody says, well, no, Mitch, you did this. You know, what the company. No, this is how I felt the company did this for me. Because 8 years ago, if you're on my balcony in the French Quarter, and I'm sitting there with a couple of my friends, and all of a sudden one of them gets up and starts blurting out, Mitch, in 8 years, just 8 years, you're going to be living in Gramercy in Manhattan in a bi-level apartment with a spiral staircase with a fireplace and a balcony with a 24-hour doorman. You're going to be driving around in a 5 Series BMW you bought for cash, wearing $3,000 and $4,000 suits, starting a watch collection. I don't know why. Running 3 and 4 offices, 5 offices, 90 employees, making over $250,000 a year. I would ask what kind of drug he was on because I wanted it too. But it happened. It happened. I'm living proof it happened. I'm nothing special. I'm not. I don't know so much about the street smart, okay? But I know I can talk to people. I know I can get people to trust me. I know I was trainable, and I know I can train people because I got a proven track record. Because I want to bring people aboard that want to be successful, and that's all I'm asking for out of this company. Now, since we are a union company, after 90 days, you will have medical benefits with United Healthcare, Oxford, United Healthcare. And you have your family involved in it too. Also, after 90 days, you will have a life insurance policy on yourself, and every promotion you get a higher percentage of that policy. No cost to you. You get to name your own beneficiary. So when that time comes, and you need actually to name that beneficiary, remember my name. Okay. Hopefully I've given you enough information today so you know if you want to proceed with this or not. Okay? Now what I want to do now is I want to pass out. This is a selection process, and I'm going to show you what the third phase of this is. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, don't start rioting. If you're right, you fail. Now, everybody look up. Everybody look up. All right, we're finished with the second phase of the interview process. Now I'm going to explain to you how the third phase works. Okay? We have your resume on file already. We saw something there. We contacted you. You came in probably with another resume. Also, you answered some questions for us, and you also met with the managers. They took notes on that. Okay? They're going to call you again, and you're going to be meeting with Antonio. Okay? He asked you some more questions. You probably jot some more answers down. Okay? On Thursday afternoon, I meet with all the managers from this office, the Bronx office, and Long Island City office at 2 o'clock on Thursday. And what they do is they gather up all your information, and they have to talk to me about who we're going to bring back for the final interview. Okay? So they'll have all your information. Okay, so you want them to fight for you, so you let them know why you think you want to work for this company. But also, I want you to do your research. Okay? Now, on this selection process letter, make sure you print your name and also your phone number. You'll have time to do that, okay? Also, the final interviews are scheduled for Friday. That's why we look from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Check more than just one time that's convenient for you. Because we call people Thursday afternoon after that 2 o'clock meeting. If you're a call, we're going to schedule that meeting for Friday. So write down a couple of times, which makes it convenient for you and easy for you to attend.
Where would the interview be?
It'll be here. It'll be here. Okay? The final interviews will be here also. All right? Now let me tell you one thing. If you get that call on Thursday, you got about a 90 to 95% chance we're going to hire you. All that's left is to answer all your questions after you did your research and go over that spreadsheet so you know it frontwards and backwards. So if we answered all your questions and you're satisfied with that and you know that spreadsheet, they'll probably hire you. The next thing is getting you into that class. Okay? Getting in because you need your license. And we have it every other week.
Just a question. On average, how many meeting insurance agents have in a week around?
How many what?
Meeting. How many appointment meetings?
Well, normally we try to set at least 20 appointments for the week.
For each one.
Mm-hmm.
And
then out of those 20 appointments, you'll probably see and probably get good presentations to about 12 of those, and you'll probably enroll about 5 people. All that stuff is on the spreadsheet. It breaks all of it down, how many appointments you have and everything. No, the spreadsheet they're gonna go over with you. And you find it has all the money and everything else on it.
On Friday?
Right.
On Friday.
Yeah, they'll have all that on there. That's why that thing is, I'm telling you, it breaks down everything. It tells you, how much we'll ask you, how much money you want to make a week. We'll ask you how much you make now. We'll show you how to get there, and that's what the spreadsheet does. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. I came up with that. That's not why it's unbelievable. Okay? All right? But listen, so write down this information, because like I said, we're gonna meet on Thursday, and we're gonna call the people who want to come back for that final interview. Now, everybody look up. I got one last thing, and then they're gonna come in and interview you. Let's say you never came in today. Okay? But let's say your best friend did. And let's say we hired your best friend. And your best friend's all excited. They did their research. They want to tell you all about this company that hired them. And they know we're still hiring because they want to bring you aboard too. And they told you, listen, with this company, if you bust it for 10 years, you really bust it for 10 years, this company will pay you for the rest of your life. Would you do it? Would you do it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Look, everybody have a great day. Okay, everybody, good luck.
Thank you.
Just remain seated. And I call you one at a time.